Hello, welcome to Shad Life. I have some updates for you. I just got back from New Orleans. I had a blast down there. When we first got down there, rented some bikes from a place called Alex's Bikes, and they have Fairdales. I like Fairdales. They have some cool selection of bikes. Just some basic single speed commuter bikes. If you don't know about Fairdale, it's a pretty cool brand. It's actually owned by Taj. Taj was a well known BMX rider from the 90s. Rode for Hoffman bikes for a while. They actually had a Taj BMX model that was like their dirt jump bike for a while. And then he started Terrible One with, I think it was Joe Rich, and Taj started Terrible One. And they had the Barcode, which was Taj's model for a while, things like that. So if you're a BMX rider from, the 90s, you'll probably be familiar, maybe even going into the 2000s, familiar with Taj. He owns Fairdale. Fairdale isn't a BMX company. They do have a Taj model, which is like a single speed BMX handlebar 27.5, I want to say, is the wheel size on it. Cruising around bike, kind of the all the rage right now, like a big BMX bike or whatever. 990 brakes on the front and back, or 990 style brakes. They're actually called U brakes, but people call them 990 style because that was what they originally were back in the 80s. Diacomp 990s. So that cool company. Anyway, I had just one of their commuter bikes. I don't remember what model it was, but a super nice cruising around bike. Went all over New Orleans, checked out the World War II Museum. We rode to City Park, rode all the way to Lake Pontchartrain and things like that. Just super cool. Checked out the Sculpture Museum, and we have a sculpture museum, or not museum, sculpture garden here in Minneapolis, and they have one in that City Park also. Super cool to just walk around outside, be in the warm weather, things like that. So yeah, that was awesome. So I'm sitting here looking outside. It's like mid 30s. Yesterday it got up to 45 degrees. That's unusually warm for February. And what happens is it kicks in my like spring juju, gets me all amped up for spring. But I know better. I know it's going to get nasty outside still. It's still middle of February. We still got a good month or so to go of winter. Then it'll actually start becoming spring and spring-like. So it's going to be a while before I'll be able to get out and ride. Yeah, I know. What's this Esker hat doing on my head? And why do I still have the tag on it? Okay, I'll tell you. So I was saying I have a surprise coming. It was supposed to come yesterday, but it came today. I just got this. Yep, this is an Esker Jaffe. It is kind of the other hardtail that Esker makes. So the Hey Duke is what I have. The Jaffe is their 29er focused hardtail, but things are changing moving forward. So now the Hey Duke and the Jaffe are both going to be 29ers. The Hey Duke is going to be the adventure or the touring, bike, the bike packing bike, whatever you people call going putting a bunch of stuff on your bike and riding really long distances. That's what the Hey Duke is becoming. It already was that, but it's even more focused towards that. But it's going to have 29-inch wheels on it now. And then the Jaffe is going to be more of the trail bike, the rider's bike, whatever, with 29-inch wheels on it. And these are 29 by 2.6, so pretty big tires on it. So I'm really curious to try it. So I have one now. I can try it. And what's really cool is I can mix it in with all of this other experimental stuff that I'm doing with this Hey Duke mullet build, things like that. I'm pretty stoked about it because what's happening now is I'm building this collection of multiple bikes, but everything's compatible with everything else. and that's super cool. I can change out wheels. I can, go mullet build or go both two 29er wheels or two 27.5 wheels, or I can go with what I'm going to now call 29-inch race wheels because I have those wheels I got at Angry Catfish during their garage sale with a narrower rim, and I'm going to run a smaller 2.2 tire on it and see how that rides, and is it like much faster, things like that. Might even do a gravel event with that setup, so on and so forth. So lots of things that I can switch around. And what's also really cool is now that I have these DVO forks, I want to put the 140 millimeter one on my Rustler because it's a 29er fork. My Rustler has a 27.5 fork on it. And with the 29er fork, I can do my Rustler as a mullet. Yes, the colors aren't going to match, but that's not what this is about. This is going to be about trying these things out, seeing how they feel, see what a mullet setup changes and how the bike is. I can throw geometry numbers at you all day long, and it won't make any sense to you. Some of you it will. Like if somebody starts throwing geometry numbers on a bike towards me, I know pretty much what all the different things are going to change and the characteristic of how the bike rides. But it's better to do that and then take it out on the trail and actually ride it and talk about the pros and cons of certain setups. And that's what I'm going to be doing a lot of in 2023. Not that I'm going to change anything else on my channel. I still got my airbag that I'm going to be riding coming spring and summer. I do plan on getting a roll-in setup for that so I can get speed for it and not have to pedal my brains out just to hit it and still not be going fast enough to get a good amount of air. So I will definitely be riding my airbag going up to Cuyuna and so on and so forth. Couple other things I have planned. I will be going down to Bentonville again this spring, probably later in March, middle to end of March. That's going to be fun. I'll only have a couple days to ride down there this year, but that's fine. I'll get in the places that I want to ride. I do plan to go to the Fruita Fat Tire Festival. That's in May, later in May, I believe. That's going to be super fun. And I'm just super stoked to travel and go some other places this year. I will definitely keep going up to Cuyuna quite a bit, but I want to kind of mix it up a little bit more this year. I did sign up for the Schwamigan 40 again. I have no idea why, because last year, you can see right here, I was muddy, man. It was the half of the race, it started raining and the trails just turned to mud, and it was a suffer fest. And I was so frustrated, but I don't know. Maybe I like to torture myself, so I signed up for it again. Hopefully the weather doesn't do that to us again. I'd rather take a little bit of colder temperatures than rain and this craziness that we had. So, lots of plans for 2023. I'm super stoked on this Jaffe. I can't wait to shred it. Of course, now all I can do is look at it in my basement. I will do a little overview of the bike and what's on it. It has this MRP Raven fork. That's also pretty cool. 120 millimeter travel. It's got a similar setup as the DVO forks. DVO calls it off the top. I think the Raven is called negative compression, things like that. So that can give you that little bit softer plush feeling at the initial impact of the fork and stuff to smoothen out the small bumps, but then it can ramp up after that. So we'll see. I might have to find out about getting some volume spacers maybe, because I generally need volume spacers because I like to jump, and if you jump a lot, you come down on landings, the fork compresses all the way to the bottom and bottoms out. You want it to ramp up, so I do have some volume spacers in the Marzocchi Z2 fork that I have on my titanium Esker Hayduke, and I really like them. So, yep, lots going on. So a little bit longer update than I really wanted to give, but just want to make sure I get everything out there. And yeah, it's going to be a fun year. I'm really looking forward to it. In the meantime, spring, it's right out there. It's right there. I can see it. Just wait. The next big snowstorm or cold front, I'll definitely do an update and show you how this is like a teaser for this time of year. I appreciate your support for my channel. Please like and subscribe. Peace. Plenty of fat biking yet to be had. Yes, there is.